I want to understand what my purpose is in life. What a lot of speakers would say is that find what you are passionate about and then pursue it. Find how you can monetize it. And that might be one of the reasons why a lot of people don't end up doing anything worthwhile, because they tend to think that the word that you must be passionate first before you do. And so they wait until they find, quote unquote, that passion. Before I go on, let me just say that my name is Olufemi Sheyi. I'm a real estate salesman. I buy, build, and sell real estate. I do have some colleagues in the studio because I'm going to be throwing some questions to them in trying to dig down on the concept of passion and the application to our existence, and application particularly to those who say, I'm trying to find my purpose. I'm trying to understand what I need to do with our lives. In fact, I've spoken to people who will tell me, I'm not passionate about anything. But before I just delve into it, let me ask two people. When you say passion, what exactly is it? What do you understand by passion?
I think it's what people have interest in, like a deep sense of interest.
A deep sense of interest, right?
Yeah.
So you must be passionate about what you're doing to do it, right?
No, but it helps.
It helps. Okay, cool. One of the ways to understand any particular word in English is to actually trace it back and ask ourselves, what is the root meaning of that word, right? Now, if you go back to find out what the original meaning, where's that word passion derived from, you would observe something very funny. The word passion is derived from, it's basically rooted in Christian theology, but mostly to mean you endure, you suffer, something you're willing to suffer for, something you're willing to endure, something you're willing to sacrifice for. That is the root word. I think it's party or something like that. That is the root word. So when we tend to say that passion is that feel good, hot emotion that drives us to do stuff, we tend to actually downplay or miss out on what the origin of that word, where it's coming from. So it's not necessarily about that feeling, it's about that commitment to sacrifice, that commitment to do, to set up a routine that may or may not be convenient, that commitment to execute on a daily basis. And that is where we actually got it wrong, because a lot of people would say that one of the reasons why I've not started my business because I can't find, I'm not passionate about these, I'm not passionate about, whatever. And then they keep holding on, hoping that at some point they will become passionate and then they can start to execute. That is a wrong approach to the concept of passion. Passion is first of all sitting down coldly to say that I want to commit to this thing, and then once I commit to it, I'm willing to do I'm willing to make the necessary sacrifice that I need to make. I'm willing to stand up at 7 in the morning to write. I'm willing to actually take that long walk. I'm willing to make calls upon call, even if everybody says no, until I get the result. I'm willing to, whatever it is that you are willing to, and then you keep constantly, following that particular road. That is the way we should begin to see passion. And this is what I know, that when we begin to understand passion from where it's coming from, we understand that it is not necessarily about how we feel, it's about what we commit to and what we become in the course of what we're doing. The other thing I just quickly want to say, the part of the problem with the passion school of doing stuff is that when you say, I want to be passionate before I do that business, I'm going to apply it to business particularly. What you're saying is you must feel certain way for you to do business. It's not going to work. And this is why, because that kind of idea, that kind of orientation actually focuses passion on what you feel, you as a person. That might not work in the marketplace. The most important element in the marketplace is not how you feel, is how the market feel about what you're selling. So no matter what you are passionate about, if the market is not interested in what you have to offer, that passion at most will only lead you to what you call a hobby. Particularly if you're looking at it from the commercial viewpoint, it will never take you to that point where you can generate profit, because profit is actually the net result from when the cost of adding value and the reward of adding value. This is what it costs you to add value, and then this is what the market is willing to reward you for adding that value. The difference between them is your profit. So when you are talking about, I want to be passionate before I do it, you are putting the cart before the horse. The market must be interested. And once you understand that the market is interested in this one, then what you now do is to make commitment, to sacrifice, to spend time to deliver on it. And then the market will take it and you can have commercial success. So not the other way around. So that is the first part of it. The only way that passion becomes a tool that can drive you forward is when your passion, when what you're excited about actually becomes aligned with what the market is interested in. So this is the thing. Now that we understand that passion actually really, from the root word of it, means you're willing to commit, you're willing to endure, you're willing to sacrifice, and so on and so forth. So it's not the feel-good feeling. Number two is that passion is irrelevant if the market does not embrace what you're passionate about. So you need to do that. Number three is that you first of all need to find what the market is interested in, and then come back to the table and build passion about it. You see, a lot of time we tend to look at emotions, and we're going to talk about another one of our emotional components today. And we think that our emotions are not necessarily within our control. They are. It's because the feeling, the dopamine release, when you're excited and all, they call it maybe the dopamine rush. We're so addicted to that dopamine rush that we tend to think that we must have that feeling before we do stuff. But this is what I've learned. And I'm going to use several examples. This is what I've learned, that if you first of all commit and then you keep delivering on those commitments, there are certain ways you can actually accelerate that, building that drive, that enthusiasm, which is the common definition of passion now. And one of the things I've said is, number one is to start with commitment, to say, this is what I want to do. And it's not about how I feel or not. Whether I feel happy, excited, depressed, or no, I will wake up in the morning, sit by my table and do this. That is the first step in the journey. And then number two is to now build a routine. That's the more, what is routine? To say, look, every specific day, I'm going to do this. And then you build a structure that helps you to stay committed to that. And then once you've already established what you're willing to sacrifice for, whether you are excited or not, you already also established that this is the routine. Every morning I want to do it. You want to build a structure that holds you accountable, that helps you to get up in the morning. I'm using the example of a creative writer, for example, or somebody who wants to a consultant who wants to. So first of all, to say, look, I'm going to do this. Number two is to say, to commit to sacrificing to it. Number three is to build a structure that allows you to do it. Number four is for now to ask yourself, how can I become better every day in what I am doing? If you start with this four, it's actually on the step. These are steps that can help you to develop passion. Then the fifth one is to, and I'm going to try to break it down a bit. The fifth one is to now ask yourself, this route that I've chosen to take, what is the value that I'm getting? Once you can itemize the value, you can start understanding the impact your daily grind is at. Because a lot of time, one of the reasons why we tend to sometimes become a bit depressed or a bit flat, to use that word, and it happens to the best of us, is because you're doing so much, you're putting in every day, but you cannot see that the end result, the end value, the end impact, what it is. You see, man is created for impact, even though it sounds so motivational, which is why if you're doing something that is routine and you are not seeing actually the outcome of it, you tend to lose that stick. But when you begin to see that, maybe the article let's create an example. Let's say you decide you want to be a writer. So every morning you want to wake up to write a 50-word or 100-word or 300-word, and you deliver on it every morning. And then as you start to write, you've committed to it, you've built a routine around it, and then you become better and better at writing. You've trained yourself to become an expert. And then, what you will begin to get excited about is when somebody calls you and said, I read your article, I took the points that you noted, and then it transformed the way I think about life. It made me a better person. It changed my relationship. It helped me with the cash management that I've been having problems with. What happened is, because you are now beginning to see the creative impact of what you're doing, it stimulates that joy, it stimulates that chemical in you, and keep building the enthusiasm, which is why you find out that a lot of people, let me use the Christian example. A lot of people will say, when they were called to become a pastor, they were not excited by it, right? And after a while, they become so engrossed, so driven, so eaten up by that passion that they can, they are more or less addicted to the work of the ministry. Now, when they started, they were not quote unquote passionate. Some of them, let's use an example. Some of them ran away. Some of them wanted to do some other things. Some of them didn't want to do that, but they started, they built a routine, they became better, and then they started seeing the impact of their calling on the people around them, on the people they lead, on the society as large. And then suddenly they realize that this is a cause that they are willing to die for. This is a cause that they are willing to give anything for. And that is a way to actually structured passion. If you are lucky that you are excited about what is relevant to the people around you, even before you start, that is just luck. But this is what I want to quickly say, that sometimes even your enthusiasm, sometimes your passion, your red hot, joyous passion will cease by the virtue of the challenges that you face. Now, what will keep you going in those times is not that feeling of being passionate, is your commitment overall to routine, your commitment to becoming better, your commitment to delivering more, and the impact you see. That is the sustainable element of passion, not the feeling. And we need to begin to ask ourselves, if you're out there listening to me, you're saying, look, I'm trying to understand what I would do with my life. I want to know what I want to be when I grow up. I'm trying to find my passion. You already have your passion. You already have what you can be passionate about. What you just need to do is now take those steps, commit, become better, and watch out for what the impact is. And the other thing I would say is that it takes time before you will see the impact, right? We tend to be a bit very short-sighted as human. We will start doing it. We would feel that maybe one person says, oh, I'm excited, it changed my life. We're excited he did that. And because over the next few months, nobody is actually is coming back to you to say, oh, this has changed my life. And then suddenly your emotions kicks in, and then you say, I'm no longer passionate. How many people have actually aborted their dreams, have aborted their call or their calling, have aborted their destinies because they were waiting for that dopamine rush, the feel-good idea to continue? That is not sustainable. What is sustainable is that commitment. What is sustainable is that dogged every day doing the boring things. What is sustainable is that continuous growth as a person, and then understanding the impact you are creating. Last one before I go is, you need to understand that sometimes you may not see the impact. It might not even be your lot to see the impact, because I'm going to be a bit, let's talk within that spiritual dimension. There's an element of life. Our reward will come, but it's not necessarily the way we have conceived that the reward should be. So particularly if you believe that there's God who has called you to do specific stuff, your job is to do that specific stuff and then leave the reward to the rewarder, right? But when we begin to attribute, to try to describe what that reward will be, it can be a major demoralizing factor. What am I saying, guys? The most important thing is that grind, commitment, that structure, that daily growth to become better, and then deliver the best value you can do. You can be, if you're lucky to now see the impact of those values, and it gets you excited, gets you to wake up to go and do stuff, then you have it perfect. Don't wait for that feel-good feeling. That is not what it's about. That is the problem with passion. Waiting for that good feeling that a lot of people call passion has kept people from achieving the best they can be, have kept people from greatness, have kept people chained in the dungeon of mediocrity. I hope you would understand this. I hope you will step out today to start doing those things that you want to do. I hope you will sit down and write. I hope you would stand in front of people and speak. I hope you will pick your phone and do that, and not wait for you to feel like you have to do it. The proof of whatever you think you will feel is when you start doing. So go do it. Go become better at it. And when you start seeing the result, I can guarantee you become more passionate. Don't turn it upside down. I hope this has been of value to you. If this is of value to you, I'd like you to do me a favor. Thereabout, please kindly click on the subscribe button. Follow us across our social media pages, because the bigger the channel or the platforms we use, the better the content we're able to bring, the better the people we're able to attract. Until I see you next video, my name is Olufemi Shege again. Thank you.